I want to thank Sister Kavina for asking me to come and celebrate this opening of the school year Mass. The Cardinal is in California, and so I was the substitute, so I'm very happy to be here with y'all. I was out at the same meeting he was at and left a day early so that I could get back and make sure I was here for this celebration. And the day after I left, about 4 hours after I left, there was an earthquake. So I don't know what. So I hope that doesn't happen here today. I'm very privileged to be here and very proud to say that I am a product of Catholic schools. I went to Annunciation School right down by Minute Maid Park, taught by the Incarnate Word nuns, went to St. Thomas High School, taught by the Basilian Fathers, went on to St. Mary's Seminary and the University of St. Thomas, and got my degree in college and my master's in theology from those schools. So 20 plus years of Catholic education, and it didn't warp me too bad. It very, very much appreciated. And I had the privilege in my 41 years in priesthood of working at 3 parishes with schools. I was first at Assumption, and then I went down here to the Co-Cathedral, and then went out to St. Vincent's. Assumption had Seton Junior High School, and St. Vincent's, of course, had its fine school. And then I went off to be a pastor and went to 2 parishes, and didn't have a chance to have schools at those places, but at the last parish I went to at St. Anthony's, I had the privilege of being a founding pastor of a school. And what a blessing the school has been to those parishes. And I really am glad that I had that opportunity in my life, not just to be at a parish where there was a school, but actually to work in forming a school and getting a principal and seeing how that principal built a team of people, and how that team of people continues to grow and develop and change and grow and develop and what have you. And to see the product that comes out of that. Father Tom Rafferty told me that our school at St. Anthony's is one of the biggest feeder schools for St. Thomas High School. We have, I keep saying we. I have to give that up. St. Anthony's has 30 boys at St. Thomas. They have girls at St. Agnes, Duchesne, at boys at also Strake Jesuit. So the Catholic education is alive and well and growing, and it's because of you. And I want to just tell you that I listened to the readings today, and Jeremiah, prophet of God, was a young man when God tapped him and said, "You're going to be my spokesperson." And he had to have faith and trust in God. It was a rough time because there was disunity among the people of God in the Holy Land. He was talking, and one of the kings he was prophesied to listened. Several of them didn't. They had lost their vision of God, and he had to keep faithful to teaching and cajoling the leadership to stay on the straight and narrow in the ways of God. And he didn't give up. He eventually lost his life, as a matter of fact. But today, in the message that he was giving, he was talking about a new covenant, that God had made a covenant through Abraham, and now he's going to make a new covenant that is going to be in their hearts, and that he loves them, and that he will never be parted from them, and they will never be parted from him. This is the message that Jeremiah was giving to the people of God. He was teaching them, he was cajoling them, and many of them listened, and it did come to fruition that they came back together as a people. They came back to their own land. This was 500 years before Christ came into existence. And this message that is in Jeremiah is also found in the second part of the prophecy of Isaiah, of the new shepherd coming and bringing a new covenant to the people of God. So this person took on a mission, accepted it, and was faithful to it. I think of our Catholic schools as being a ministry in our parish. It is not just an add-on. It's not just something that's separate from the parish. It's an integral part of our parish life. You are missionaries. You're bringing education to the young, not just reading, writing, and arithmetic, but you're bringing in that a whole process of life. You're bringing faith into these people's lives. We can pray in school. We can turn to the Lord, and we can ask him to be with us. We integrate it into our curriculum. And we bring a wholeness of life. We're teaching our young people moral values. We're teaching them right and wrong. We're teaching them how to live in a crazy mixed up world of ours. And that's a privilege. And no matter how young you are or how old you are, the Lord is going to bless you if you turn to him, and he is going to fill you with his covenant and his promises that he will be with you always, and he will guide you in everything that you do, even when it gets hard. He's always there. And I listened to the gospel today where Jesus asked the people, "Who do you say that the Son of Man is?" Well, of course, you got to be maybe John the Baptist, maybe Jeremiah, maybe one of the prophets. But who do you say that I am? And only Peter got up and said, "You are the Messiah, the Son of God." And Jesus said, "You didn't say this on your own. It was the Father who gave you that ability to say that." This fisherman, this common everyday man, could see that Christ was the Messiah, the Son of God. And he was able to announce that in faith and in trust. But then Matthew gives us another side of the issue, After this was all done, Jesus said, "Now don't tell anybody I'm the Messiah yet, There'll be a time to do that." But after that, Jesus started saying to them, "I have to go to Jerusalem. And when I go to Jerusalem, I'm going to be persecuted. I'm going to be arrested. I'm going to be persecuted. I'm going to die on the cross. But on the third day, I'm going to rise from the dead." Well, good old Peter, who had just proclaimed Jesus as the Messiah, didn't hear the whole message of Jesus. All he heard is that I'm going to be arrested, persecuted, and die. He didn't hear I'll be raised on the third day. So what does Peter do? He pulls Jesus aside and he says, "You can't go up there. Don't do it." And Jesus says, "Get behind me, you Satan. You're not thinking like God thinks. You're thinking like a man." He had just given Peter the keys to the kingdom. He had just put Peter in charge of all of the apostles and all of the ministry that he was going to be asking them to do. And Peter lost sight very quickly. He started thinking only on a human level, not in the level of faith that he had just previously announced. And Jesus challenged him to start thinking in the right direction. If you're not going to be with me, you're going to be against me. So think like you did before. And when Peter did think that way, then he accomplished much. And we know what Peter and Paul and the apostles did after the resurrection and the Holy Spirit came upon them. They went out and brought the message of Christ to the world. And we are the products of those band of men and women who went forth in the church, in the early church, spreading the good news. And we are continuing to be challenged by Christ to do the same thing that they did. I don't think that any of us have to worry about losing our life or our faith. But we do have to be strong in our faith and firm in our faith. And you have the privilege and the opportunity of forming and molding young people in the ways of Christ. And if we only go into our classrooms thinking on a human level, we're going to fail them. If we come in as people of prayer who have a good relationship with the Lord, He is going to guide you, He's going to fill you with His Spirit, and He is going to give you the ability to bring to those people entrusted to you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's a great privilege, but it's a great challenge. And if you as a school all work together as a team, if we set ourselves goals and we work towards those goals, we will accomplish them. And the people who come to us for guidance and leadership will truly be blessed and will truly grow to be stronger and stronger Catholic Christians. So I pray for each one of you. You have a challenge before you. I hope that you have a good year, that you work together, that you pray together, and that you strive to be the instruments that God is calling to you. We're never too old and we're never too young. The Lord calls each one of us. I hope you have said yes to Him. And I hope in that yes, you have great accomplishments in this coming year. May God bless you all and have a great year.